Hello everyone, and welcome to AI Basics, our presentation for today about understanding artificial intelligence. My name is Ian Price. I am the Peer Program Manager and Innovation Strategist at Technology for Living. Our mission is to help peers. We're a peer-driven organization, and we support individuals with limited mobility to increase independence, inclusion, and well-being. We serve all of British Columbia, and our equipment is provided on a long-term loan to our members. We have three main programs, one of which is our Provincial Respiratory Outreach Program, or PROP, where we provide respiratory equipment and services. So, for example, the ventilator I'm using today. We also have TIL, or Technology for Independent Living, which provides environmental control systems such as Smart Tech, and our peer program, which provides peer support. So, a disclaimer, Technology for Living does not currently provide assistive technology with built-in AI and does not endorse any products mentioned in this presentation. The information shared reflects my personal opinions and research as a person with a disability using AI, and I would like to emphasize I am not an AI professional, but I do appreciate the benefits and I use it on a daily basis.
I lost your audio for a minute there, Ian. Was anybody else experiencing the same problem?
A little bit, but not very much. It wasn't very
Okay.
What's happening?
It was fine for me.
Okay.
It was just for a second. It wasn't very yeah,
Did my audio cut out or what?
a little bit, just a little bit. Not very much.
Okay. Okay.
We'll let you know if it happens again.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Please keep me posted.
Yes.
So, what is artificial intelligence, or AI? AI is a technology that allows computers to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. AI systems can learn, reason, solve problems, and much, much more. So when people think about AI, I think the big question is, how does it work? Like, where is it just a giant computer? Well, and essentially it is. There are these huge data centers all over the world. This is a picture of one that Google has in the Netherlands. And it's essentially a giant network of computers that are all working together, that are thinking really, really hard. So when you ask AI a question, it's sent to a data center and processed there, and then it returns with a response. And that's how it's done right now. I think in the future, it will be done more locally, like on your phones and mobile devices. But for right now, a lot of the computing power is so intense that it requires these giant data centers, and they use something called graphics processing units, or GPUs. Because they're really good at receiving and transmitting data really quickly. They're like, as the name says, graphics. These are like video cards, and they're really robust video cards that are far more superior to anything that we would be using for our traditional computer gaming system. And now they're specifically being produced for artificial intelligence. So this is what the inside of one of these data centers looks like. So a little bit about the evolution of AI. So in the 50s, in 1950, a gentleman by the name of Alan Turing proposed the Turing test, which measures machine intelligence. So essentially, he would ask a question to a computer and ask a question to a person, and then decide if they could distinguish what answer was given by the computer and what one was given by the person. And if they were pretty much similar, if you couldn't really tell the difference, then it passed the Turing test. And then in 56, John McCarthy came up with the term artificial intelligence. In 66, one of the first chat bots was created. And then you might remember hearing about this, in 67, IBM came up with a computer called Deep Blue that could play chess and actually defeated the champion. Then other companies like Sony start to jump in and build cute little robots like the Aero. Then in 2002, Roomba, one of the first robotic vacuum cleaners, was created. And as you can see, as technology was advancing, the big companies were really starting to get excited about bringing this technology into their ecosystem. And so in 2011, Apple created Siri for phones, and then in 2014, Miss A, I'm not going to say the word, was launched by Amazon, and then finally in 2020, OpenAI introduced ChatGPT 3, which is one of the first large language models that was really being taken seriously. And then 2 years later, ChatGPT became available to the public. And I think that's when, in my opinion, artificial intelligence really exploded, where it was available to the public, and people were actually starting to use it and benefit from it. So there are a ton of chatbots and AI models out there. I'm sure you've heard of ChatGPT, but many other companies have jumped in. So there are other chatbots include Copilot by Microsoft, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, which is from Google, Grok, which is from X, and DeepSeek. So there are a lot to choose from. You don't have to do just one. I highly recommend playing around with a lot of them. Many of them have free versions, and of course a paid version for some. But this is some of them are good for other things, and I really recommend playing around with it. Like some are better at image generation, some are better at writing. Claude, for example, it is really good for writing. And so I highly recommend taking some time to test them out and see which one is best for you. Today, I'm just going to be focusing on ChatGPT because I think it's the most commonly used, or at least most public. And this is how it looks. You log in to chatgpt.com, you create an account, and which is free, and then it will pop up with a prompt like, what can I help you with? And you can type in anything, and I mean anything. And you can do this on the computer. You can also do it on the phone too. Many of these have an app that you can download. So for today, I typed in, today I will be virtually public speaking, and I'm a little nervous. In a few sentences, please provide some words of encouragement and advice. And within a fraction of a second, it said this: you're gonna do great. Remember, virtual public speaking is just a conversation with your audience. Focus on delivering value rather than perfection. Speak with confidence, take deep breaths, and pause when needed. If you make a mistake, keep going. People, or most people, won't even know this. Trust yourself, because you know your material better than anyone. You've got this. And so that's the kind of the very basic of what you can ask it. You can ask it just simple questions like that, but it can get very complex. The questions that you ask, honestly, I recommend just ask it absolutely anything you can think of and see what it generates. Like every week they're coming up with new capabilities, and they're launching it quite frequently to the general public. So the things that you think it might not be able to do, I would challenge it, honestly. I asked it questions about like helping me summarize documents, summarize news articles. I'll paste in the URL or the website address and say, can you summarize this page? And it can do it. You can take PDF documents and upload it just by dragging it in and say, hey, I'm not a lawyer. I received this legal contract, and I'd like you to help me explain section 2.7, and it will do it for you. You can ask it to generate Excel spreadsheets. If you have an image that you want to drag in and ask it questions about it, like where is this landmark? It can tell you that sort of information. It's truly a powerful tool, and again, I highly recommend just ask it anything you can think of, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised what it comes up with. You can also speak to it. In the web app or on your mobile device, there's a little conversation mode icon, and if you click on it, you can have a conversation. And I have spent more time than I would like to admit just sitting there with it on my phone, talking to it, having a very natural conversation. And one practical use for it was, I was at the hospital a few months ago, and a lady came up to me and didn't speak English, and she seemed very frantic, and I didn't know what to do. So I thought, I wonder if I can use ChatGPT as a translator. So I opened up the app, clicked on the conversation mode icon, and said, hey, I'm speaking with a lady. I don't know what language she's speaking. Can you act as a live translator? And everything that she says, translate it to English. and then everything I say, translate it to her native language. And it did it. And we had a full-on conversation. I didn't have to push any other buttons or type anything in. And it worked perfectly. I found out that her grandson was going in for surgery, and she needed to find out where exactly in the hospital to go. And so we brought her to the information booth. So things like that, I think are wonderful. I can't wait to use it when I go traveling next. You can also generate images, and this is a lot of fun. Some of the images I use or I'm using in this presentation were generated by AI. And so, for example, here I just said, generate an image of a futuristic wheelchair. And it came up with this. And maybe if I don't like it, maybe I want the big tires in the front and the small tires in the back. Maybe I want it to be the color red. Maybe I want it to have a different seating system. I can ask it at different prompts to change the image or to give me something entirely different. And something that I've been having a lot of fun with lately is that it can actually type out text on the images. So for Mother's Day, I took an image of my mom and I dragged it in to ChatGPT, and I said, turn us into a cartoon and cartoon characters, and write happy Mother's Day, Mom, and write a beautiful poem about being out in the garden. And within a few seconds, it did that. So again, have some fun with it. This is a very powerful tool. So it's not perfect. And I think it's really important to discuss some of the safety considerations. Number one, privacy and data security. AI systems often collect and process personal data. So if you're using it for work, for example, maybe don't say in the prompt that you're typing in, don't type in the person's name and an address. Just say, hey, I would like some assistance composing an email to one of our members, and this is the information. But don't divulge any personal information. I've heard stories of, let's say, somebody that has a great idea for a new app. Well, I think you wouldn't want to share all of the secrets for your app to AI because it is public. The data is collected, and so some of that top secret information could be leaked to the companies that are holding on to or who have created the AI system. So just be careful about that. Next thing is bias and fairness. AI can inherit biases from the data it's trained on, leading to unfair or discriminatory outcomes. It's important to critically evaluate AI tools to ensure they work fairly for all users. And this is something that the companies generating AI are working on, because it can be biased for sure, and so it can be offensive at times. They are working on it. It's a lot better than it was, but just be careful. Also, reliability and human oversight. So it there's a term that they use called hallucinations. And I think it's funny because AI can make mistakes or provide misleading information, and it can be extremely convincing. So be careful. I highly recommend doing some fact checking because it can tell you the answer to something and it sounds legit. But then when you do some research on your own, it is 100% inaccurate. And I know I used it for traveling, where I asked it if a building in Vancouver was wheelchair accessible, and it said 100% they have an elevator. I phoned them; they don't have an elevator, so it completely made it up. So be careful with that. A few months ago, the team at OpenAI, who creates ChatGPT, also came up with a new program called Sora, and this is text to video, and it's a really cool way of using AI if you want to make or generate very short video clips. You can do that, and I'll just show you some examples here of what other people have created. Like, look at the one here with the mountain with the mist and the clouds. This was all created just by giving it a prompt, which I think is absolutely astounding. And this is going to change the movie industry once it becomes a bit more powerful. People are also using it for creating music, text to audio. I was watching a TED Talk recently, and I heard that approximately 10 songs per second are being generated globally using AI. And so I think be careful nowadays, because when you're listening to music, it might actually be 100% computer generated. The vocals, the instrumental. I think it's a powerful tool. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think if you're into making music, I think that it's worth checking out platforms like Suno and seeing what you can create. I think most of us here are using Dragon Naturally Speaking to speak to text for our PCs. But for Mac, I've been looking for a better solution, and my colleague Taylor came across Super Whisper, which is available on iPhones and on Macs. And this is a pretty powerful tool. It listens to what you're saying, and then it generates text. It goes from speech to text. But the neat thing about it is that it's using AI to understand what the intention was of your sentence or your paragraph, and then it can summarize it. So if you said, "Hey Jim, I'd love to meet with you tomorrow," no wait, not tomorrow, on Thursday at 3 p.m., then it would listen to it and say, okay, he wants to meet with Jim on Thursday, and it will take out that text without and remove all of the ums and the words that you misspoke. So they have a free version. if you're a Mac user, I highly recommend checking it out. It can't do all of um, the navigation as Dragon does, but for simply writing emails and text messages, I think it's worth checking out. So you might not realize it, but you're already probably seeing and using AI. So, for example, when I Googled what is AI, the first thing that popped up was an AI overview. And so it will generate an AI response. And then if you keep scrolling down, then it will show you other search results from dictionaries and whatnot. So if you see this little star icon, that is Google Gemini working hard in the background. And it even works in Gmail. If you use Gmail, it can now summarize emails and help you compose emails as well. You just have to click on that little star icon in the top right corner of your screen. It's even working on your phones. Apple, for example, released Apple Intelligence, which has some cool AI features. They launched this in June last year, where you can do many things. For example, if you're in your photos, in the search button at the top there, if you type in, let's say, waterfall, then it will show you all of your photos and videos that have a waterfall in it. So it's a lot easier than having to scroll through 300 photos trying to find that picture from your favorite trip. Or you could say sunflower, and it would show you all the pictures of the sunflower. So I think that's extremely helpful, and try it out. Google is also using their Gemini Nano for assistive text or accessibility rather. This is something where if you're taking a video or a picture of something, it will describe what you're looking at. Sorry, it's for images, not for videos. My bad. And this is great for people with low vision. They can have a complete description of things on their phone. Now this hasn't been released in Canada yet, but one of our favorite voice assistants, Miss A, they're launching out Alexa Plus, which can manage your smart home devices. It can also make reservations, provide entertainment recommendations. It can assist you with online shopping. I think this would be really, really exciting when it's available in Canada.
Wow.
And it'll be free for Amazon Prime members. So stay tuned for this.
I'm so excited.
Amazon or Meta also partnered up with Ray-Ban to create the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses, and I've tried these out, and they're wonderful. They're a pair of glasses that you can touch the slider, as you're showing in the image here, but you can also speak to them to take photos, take videos, listen to music, make phone calls, send text messages, and they have Meta AI built into them. so you can ask questions. So you could say, what am I looking at right now? Which I think is incredible for people with low vision. This is another neat device that I haven't tried personally, but I've seen lots of reviews online. It's a little wearable device that you can bring into meetings or classrooms, and it's a recorder that not only records the audio, but it will summarize everything that it hears. This would have been amazing when I was in university to have a device that could
Mhm.
listen to an entire lecture and then give me point form notes of everything that was discussed.
We used to have to take the notes
Yeah,
afterwards.
exactly.
Yeah, because we're
Or-
old, right? So we used to have to like record it and then take it afterward. This would be amazing. Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
What else? Okay, I think many of you are familiar with Neuralink is currently using machine learning, where it's an implantable device that has over 1,000 electrodes that are implanted into the brain, which allows somebody with a disability to control a Bluetooth device, such as a mouse on their computer. And I'm excited for the future when it's using AI to really well as a tool to make this even more efficient, so that it's able to learn faster and allow people with disabilities to do more just by using their brain, by thinking something. I don't know yet how much the Tesla Optimus humanoid robots are using AI at the moment. I have a feeling they're primarily using machine learning. But I think this is going to be the next level when we have robots in our homes that are able to help us with doing dishes, putting away laundry, doing simple meal preparation, carrying groceries, cleaning the house, maybe one day transferring us from the bed to a wheelchair. I think it will happen, but I would give it a few years. And so I think this is going to be the most impressive piece for me when we have a robot in our home that has AI built into it that we can just naturally speak to, and it will perform actions. I think this very, very exciting.
Shut the fan off, please.
So that's about it for the presentation today. If you'd like to learn more about technology, feel free to check out our We Talk Tech YouTube channel. And I believe everybody already attends, but we have our monthly Pure Hub virtual meetings, which is the first Tuesday of every month at 2 p.m. Thank you to our generous donors for allowing us to provide these wonderful services to our members in DC. And if you have any questions, please feel free to visit our website or send me an email. I'd love to pick your brain about how you're using AI. So that said, does anybody have any questions?
I'm so excited for the Alexa upgrade.
Yes.
Stop. Thank you. Um, I'm super excited for that. And I used GPT the other day to write a letter, and it literally took me like 5 minutes instead of like half an hour, and um it was really cool. I was just wondering like about cost, like what, do you think it would be cost effective for everybody, or would that be something that we would look into as a organization to provide down the future? Or like, do you think it would take a while, or do you think it's more just for people who could afford it?
I think the basic plan, which is free, is for ChatGPT specifically, is good
Yeah.
enough for most users. I think that it's a bit of a commitment paying around $20 American per month. You can even pay for the pro version up to $200 American per month. But for that,
Mhm.
I think that would be for your heavy users that are using it constantly, generating a ton of images, generating a ton of video content. But I personally would stick to the free version if
If
it's
possible.
free.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you're finding that you're receiving a message saying, hey, you've used it too much. Today, please slow down a bit. But you are using it for work, and you're like, hey, I really need help summarizing this email or generating all of my emails for the day. Then
Yeah.
then sure, you might consider upgrading.
Right. Or if you're like a tech whiz like you and Taylor are, I mean that's one thing. But like, I mean, you're right. I think the free versions are a good start, and then you could go from there. Um, yeah, I just think it's really important to think about the positive ways AI could help, because I think a lot of times we hear of all the negative stuff, right? And so I think it's really important to see how it can help people with different abilities and different disabilities to be better, you know, better in their lives, to help them in their lives. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I think this is a huge tool and it should
yeah,
be used as a tool.
yeah.
And people there are always going to be people that are going to be using computers and AI for malicious reasons. But I really like to focus on the positive. Okay. I've read articles about how it's being used for in the medical field, for analyzing cancer much faster, weeks or months earlier than a human could detect
Mhm.
it, for creating new antibiotics. I think that this is going to be part of our everyday life moving forward, whether we like it or not. Um,
Mhm.
but take advantage of it. Like you use it to help you be more independent, be more creative, to understand complex problems. Something to note is that if I use this prompt quite often, I'll be like, explain quantum physics to a 10-year-old, and then it's great at that. It breaks it down so that it's tangible for things that I've always wanted to better understand. But every time I read an article or watch a YouTube video on quantum physics, my mind is blown. I don't grasp it. I use AI for things like that now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it could really help. Um, I just think you need to use it in the right ways, like it's, not so that we don't know how to do basic things anymore, but it's just But it's just, in the right ways for people. I think it could be, like you said, a really good tool. Yeah. Anybody else besides me and Ian?
You're not audible, Robin. Oh, still not hearing anything.
Oh, I can hear you,
Can you hear Robin?
Robin. No, we can't hear Robin again.
No.
Hey, Robin.
No, Robin, you can type your question in the chat, I guess.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine.
Oh, we
It's
can hear you.
fine.
There you go. It's
There we
all
go.
good, Robin.
Oh, good. I was just going to say such excellent questions, Nicole, and great presentation, Ian. Thank you. I really enjoyed it. I've been using ChatGPT a bit, and you guys can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's just such an amazing sort of assistant, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you were both of you were saying, just almost like a secretary in a sense, or like an atomic, or just like a really kind of jacked up, amazing secretary that can perform exceptional tasks in a very streamlined way. It's fantastic. Anyways, I'm excited, but I was particularly excited about those glasses, Ian, that you showed, that you touch the side and you can take a picture or ask it questions. Amazing. I was thinking that's going to be so expensive. But then again, I thought, gosh, even our iPhones are killer expensive.
Yeah, like
Getting used to
basic
it,
things. Yeah.
$412 US, Robin.
Crazy.
Oh.
That's crazy.
$412 US.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is what in Canadian dollars at this point?
I have no idea these days.
Yeah.
600?
I don't know either. Yeah, like 700 maybe.
No,
600, yeah.
I paid around 500 with,
Okay.
yeah, five to seven, I can't remember exactly, but, I love them. The only reason I returned them, well, two reasons, is that because the frame is all circuitry, you can't bend them to fit your face, and unfortunately, they were giving me some red spots on my nose, which usually on a standard pair of glasses, you should just heat it up a bit and mold it, but you can't do that with the Meta glasses. And then second thing was the battery life. I personally would wait until the next generation come out because I find that the battery life was quite minimal, only a couple hours if I was using AI for the bit or listening to music. So those were my big complaints. But overall, they're an incredible piece of technology, and just being able to have them on my head and ask random questions all the time and take pictures all the time was so special.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Really, really cool. Thank you so much, Ian. That was a really enjoyable presentation. I thought you kind of delivered it sort of the perfect level for all of us in a way, way
Yeah.
we could all kind of understand without getting too extremely
Yeah.
technical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Robin don't get overwhelmed because we're just
It
like,
happens
what is
easily.
this? What do we do? And it's like, no, AI is
Yeah.
everywhere, right? It's like you
Yeah.
said, it's everywhere, whether you like it or not, like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
to stay.
Yep.
It certainly is.
So,
I'm gonna
And
look
any
at
other-
Super Whisper for my Mac and see if that will help with emails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's,
mm,
Yeah, try that. Again, it's not perfect like that, as AI is relatively new for the general public. There are a lot of companies that are trying to figure out how to bring it into their business. And I think, like personally, I found that Whisper AI or Super Whisper, that it works better than using just like Max accessibility features for the
Nice.
computer. But I found that for sending a text message, I found that it's just a yeah, an extra step that isn't really necessary at this time. But I would love to hear your feedback.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
far faster to dictate something than to
Type it.
type it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
you know, so
Yeah.
I mean, in that respect, the AI is far superior when you're texting and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, but if you can just ramble off a paragraph and it summarizes it um, accurately, then that's perfect. I think
Yeah.
that works really really well for me.
Hmm.
For sure.
Me too.
It's a huge time saver, and I find something that like Dragon does is that it doesn't understand every word I'm saying, and if I read back the sentence doesn't make sense. Whereas when you add AI into it, it looks at the sentence, it analyzes it, and it says, well, he probably didn't mean to say potato because potato doesn't make sense in that sentence. And that's that extra level, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. Hmm.
One thing I liked about Dragon Speaking was the fact that you could train it. Whereas like
Yeah,
AI is almost the same thing.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, it is. It's pretty
To
exciting. I love it. I love using it.
Yeah.
It's made me much more efficient and I really I'm really excited to see what comes next.
right?
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, thank you everyone for
Thank
attending
you.
today, and
Perfect.
I hope you enjoyed, and I know
See you
we'll
next
talk.
Monday night.
Wonderful. Thanks, Ian. Yeah, very enjoyable. Really great. Happy to attend. I really learned lots. It was great. Take care and thank you so much. I'll see you a little
Bye now.
later, Ian.
Take
Okay,
care.
bye,
Bye bye.
guys. See you, Gordon. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Evan. Take care, guys. See ya.